Thanks everyone for coming down. Obviously by now I'm sure you've worked out I'm here to announce my retirement from AFL football. It was a disappointing finish to my career, but I don't lose sight of the fact of just how fortunate I've been to play for two wonderful football clubs, and how lucky I've been to meet and work with so many terrific people. And today the most important thing for me to do is just to be able to thank a lot of those people, whilst obviously recognising there'll be plenty I forget to mention, but I'm sure they know who they are as well. So on that note, I'd like to start by thanking the current Carlton playing group, who are a wonderful group of people, and in what's been a challenging year for our footy club and for the players in particular, getting to come to work each day and work with a group of people that I like so much has made a tough year all that much more manageable. And to all the players I've played with over the journey, both at Carlton and at West Coast as well, I'd just like to thank them for being my teammate. I'd like to assure them that I gave everything I had to the two clubs I represented, and I hope over the journey I've earned their respect. To the coaches that I've been lucky enough to have really good working relationships with all the senior coaches I've had. To Woosha, is someone who's got great values, and someone who I had immense respect for. I think to have him as an influence in my life at the age that I was at West Coast, I guess transitioning from a kid to a man was really important for me, and I'd like to thank him. To Rats, who was an incredibly passionate Carlton man, and brought an enormous amount of energy to this football club. Things didn't end out for Rats the way he would have wanted, but I guess they never do. But he certainly put a lot into this club, and to him I'm really thankful. To Mick, taught me a lot of lessons, Mick, on both football and life, and came to the club at a time when I was a little bit drained, particularly about what had happened the year before. When you're the captain of a footy club and the coach gets sacked, that takes a fair emotional toll. So Mick really helped me to enjoy footy in that last period of time, and so for his work I'm really thankful. And then to Johnny Barker, I'm only played one game under, but who has really brought an air of positivity to the place. And I think we saw some green shoots of growth on Saturday against Adelaide, and I'd like to thank him and obviously wish him all the best with his efforts to become a senior coach as well. I've had a lot of assistant coaches over the journey, and I won't thank them all, but a couple I'll single out is Dean Laidley, who I've worked really closely with the last couple of years, and who's got a great footy brain and a great emotional intelligence, and I've really enjoyed my work with him over the last couple of years. And then to Robbie Wiley, who's probably been my strongest influence over my footy career, had a huge impact on me as a young player over in West Coast, and to be able to reunite with him at the end of my career has been really special for me as well. Still going. To all the other staff I've worked with as well over the journey, they probably go into the hundreds, and again met a lot of wonderful people. To the two most prominent administrators when I was over in the West, in Trevor Nisbet and Steve Woodhouse, thanks to you guys. To Dick Pratt, Stix Kernahan and Greg Swan, those guys were really influential in getting me across to Carlton. And they're some of the best blokes that you'll ever meet in football. So I'd like to thank those guys. To Mark Ledouge and his board, and Stephen Trigg, made a lot of hard decisions this year on behalf of the footy club, and I know they've been done with the long-term interests of the club at heart. And I wish you all the very best in continuing the hard work you're doing on bringing success back to this club. To Paul Connors, my player manager, I think I signed up with him at the age of about 16. He's been worked tirelessly with me in that time, and I was with him as a 16-year-old, and he drove me in here today on my last day as a footballer. So for him to be with me throughout his journey, I'd like to thank him. I'd like to single out Mark Homewood as well, who's our rehab coordinator and physio at the club, and for Robbie Wiley was the biggest influence in my first half of my career. Mark Homewood's probably been the biggest influence in the second half of my career. He's put my body back together as best he could, and I certainly wouldn't have played as many games for this football club if it wasn't for him. To my parents and my sister Lauren, I think it's often said that anyone who's born in Australia wins the ovarian lottery, but to be born into a family that's as loving, as kind as the one I got, I genuinely feel that I got first division of that lottery. So thank you to you guys. To Beck and my kids, thanks very much for your support. There's been plenty of highs and plenty of lows, but your support's been immeasurable. I think there's a natural apprehension as to what comes next when you move away from something that's been such a big part of my life, but knowing that I've got you and the kids to come home to, really makes me feel that whatever comes next, the next chapter is going to be really exciting. So thanks to you guys. And lastly, to the fans. The Carlton fans have been incredible to me, incredibly generous and kind over the journey. I wish I could have been part of a team that brought more success to you guys, but we did our best, and I thank you and be eternally grateful for your support. To the West Coast fans as well, a big reason why my time over there was so special. So thanks to you guys. And I guess to the Adelaide fans as well on Saturday. It was a really trying time for me as a person, not as a footballer. And just to be shown that level of respect as I was carried off meant a lot. So thanks to you guys too. That's it.